Hi, good evening. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hey, I'm amazing. How are you? Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having
I'm
me.
good. I'm
Appreciate
good.
it.
I'm good. Yeah. So good morning to Asia and good evening to Canada, United States. Yeah. Today I'm very lucky and very honored to have Brian here because Brian is actually I think it's like 3 or 4 times more than my followers, and so I learned from Brian, and so I really appreciate your time and helping for support for this life. Yeah. So perhaps I start to like introducing you and how did we start our relationship? Is it okay?
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah, great, great. So basically, I think my account was I think I registered in 2010. LinkedIn started in 2003, but I mean anyway, I just active on 2019 in December. So at that time, I wanted to produce some career related contents and helping people. And I have shoot one video say, hey, I got a 30 minutes free career coaching. So do you want to book my service? Well, that's good. I mean, like 10 or 20 people spoke that, but then I don't know how to post the videos. I don't know how to write the contents. I don't know what's about engagement. I don't know what's anything about LinkedIn. I know nothing. And then I saw my friend James Fogg. I think you know that. I know him for 10 years in the same recruitment field. And then he has a post say, hey, Brian is good. You should follow him. You should learn from him. He's endorsing you. So I think, hey, who is Brian? And then I go to check your profile and your websites, and then how we start the relationship. So do you still remember when I first chat with you in December?
Yes, of course I do. Of
Yeah,
course I
yeah,
do.
so
I pay a lot of
amazing.
attention to everybody that I engage in conversation. I know who they
Yeah,
are, what they are struggling with, what
yeah.
they're looking to do. So yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, and I learned a lot from you. Even though I didn't pay for you, you gave me advice, and it's so great. So, hey guys, now I'm live with Brian. So just let me know where are you connecting from, and good morning, good evening. So just tell me your time zone, and please remember to leave your comments below, so we will answering and addressing any of your problem and concerns. So,
Let me
Brian,
ask you a
yeah,
question. Does
yeah.
anybody in your community know me or not?
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be a good
Just
question to know whether I appear. First of all, who is in your community, and whether we share any connections or any
yeah.
photos. That
Yeah,
would be great.
great. Anything to add or anything you would like to formally introduce yourself or
Yeah,
anything you
sure.
want to? Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you can tell that I have an accent. So I was born and raised in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I currently live in Toronto, in Canada.
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
in Canada with my family for 16 years, and
Yeah.
now I have my own family. I have my wife and my two
Yeah.
children, and I've been in IT for
Yeah.
23 years. And I
Okay.
love this platform. It's amazing what you can do on LinkedIn and how you can empower and inspire other people and how you can really
Yeah.
impact other people positively. And I think
Okay.
that what I've learned is that you can really master some skills that maybe you have never thought of before. But on LinkedIn, you can acquire new skills and you can teach other people how to get back on their feet or advance in their careers. And we'll probably go into that in a bit. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to share with you later and empower you and inspire you to potentially do that yourselves and see what the benefit is in doing so.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. So today's topic is how non-recruiters help thousands of job seekers in terms of their interviews or their resumes. So I just want to know how did you start it? I mean, LinkedIn, as I mentioned, 2003 started that. So when do you have actually your first LinkedIn account, and then when do you really started to help people? Just to let me know about your stories, about the experience.
I probably had my LinkedIn account at around the same time when you did, probably something like 9, 10 years
Okay.
ago. But I never knew that there was a social platform
Okay.
behind it that you could engage with people. I'm not sure when that started, but for the longest time, I just had my resume. I used it to store my resume and to apply for career opportunities. Now, my first post, which actually was not a post, it was an article, because when I first started to engage on LinkedIn to become active, the first thing that I did was I created an article. I wrote an article, and I thought
Okay.
that was
Okay.
the way to to do things. So then I wrote 18 articles, and I realized that nobody cared for the articles. Like all the engagement was happening in the posts. And then, of course, when months went by, I realized, oh, I see what it is. I don't even care for the articles because when you have to go to an article, they're so lengthy that you don't care to read them. So then I
Yeah. Yeah.
realized I switched from articles to posts. Uh, so far, I've written 720 posts in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Uh,
Amazing.
yeah, and I've gotten something like 19.3 million views. Um,
Wow. Wow.
but
Wow.
at the beginning, I didn't even feel comfortable liking or commenting or even writing the articles. It took me a while to figure out that everybody's welcome, to understand the culture behind LinkedIn and the fact that everybody supports each other for the most part, and then they really empower each other. So once I started, then it became easier. So for anybody who's out there
Yeah.
just lurking or watching or consuming but not sharing anything, my advice is
Yeah.
think about what value you can deliver to anybody out there, because you can really make a positive impact. I've saved people from committing suicide. I've helped people make money,
Wow.
like Keith, and many others. I've helped people develop new skills, help them get back on their feet, find new career
Mm.
opportunities. So many different things, right? Immigrate to Canada, even. Like so many different
Yeah.
things that you can do on LinkedIn that I would have never thought of before. And this is because we're all connected.
Okay. Is it because when you post articles or posts, then people just start to looking for you and seek for your help, so that you start how to help people on their resume and interviews?
Yeah, I can tell you very, very quickly how this whole
Mm.
thing started and how I realized or how I learned that I could make a positive impact. When I started to share articles, sharing my knowledge about what I know, how I conduct myself professionally, there was this gentleman out of South Africa, living in South
Wow.
Africa, who reached out to me and he said, Brian, can you help me with my interview? He said, "Do you have an interview coming up?" And he said, "No." So I thought it was a joke. Like, why are you asking me for help if you don't have one? So I said,
Yeah.
"Whenever you have one, let me know." So 2 days later, he came back and he said, "Brian, I have an interview tomorrow." I said, "Oh, congratulations!" And just out of my heart, I said, "Can I help you?" And he said, "Do you know anything about logistics?" I said, I don't know anything about logistics. However, I know how to interview really well." So he said, "Okay, I'll take you up on that." So we got on the phone. We spoke for 35 minutes. At the time, I was actually, I got an infection from my thumb. I was actually at the hospital. It was a very delicate situation. I was
Yeah.
actually mentoring him from the hospital. That's how dedicated I was. And I
Wow.
mentored him for 35 minutes. I learned that he was unemployed for 2 years and he was married
Wow.
to someone in
Mm.
HR and she couldn't even help him. And I mentored him for 35 minutes. I learned what held him back in the past. The next day, he went to the interview. And when he came out, he said,
And boom.
"It's mine. It's mine." I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
"For real?" He said, "Well, I am not sure, but I feel like it's mine." 2 weeks later, it was the anniversary of my dad who passed away. May he rest in
Mm.
peace.
I'm
And he
sorry.
told me, thank you very much. And he told me the news that he got the opportunity to be the right hand of the CEO of a multinational.
Mm.
So because I believe in these signs, I thought to myself, maybe my dad is sending me a sign that I have to pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I did afterwards, I thought to myself, is this a coincidence? This guy had been unemployed for 2 years. I mentored him for 35 minutes, and the next day he's employed again, right? And with a really
Yeah.
amazing opportunity. So is it a coincidence or do I actually have a skill? So what I did was I started to look for more people to mentor them. And
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
person that I mentored, the next interview, they would get back on their feet. So that's when I
Wow.
started
Yeah.
to explore more. And I realized maybe I have a skill here. And then it started to consume a lot of time. And my wife said to me, "Listen, you have a family here at home. I love what you're doing, but you can't just be like spending so much time helping everybody. You have a little daughter here at home. You have me." So she said, "At least if you're going to help a lot of people, at least bring more money home or do something." And that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whole interview sniper and monetizing LinkedIn became serious. And I realized that people who actually pay for a
Okay.
service are serious, they are committed. So, but now I'm trying to
Yeah.
help for even those people who don't have funds, I'm helping them as well. So, anyway, I'm doing a lot of
Okay.
things,
Okay.
but yeah, this is not just for people who
Yeah.
can afford me.
Yeah, amazing stories. I mean, you don't need to be licensed or certified coach before you help somebody. You just share your experience, your expertise, what you know, and and anything that you should do and not do. Then that would be great enough. Yeah. But just want to know who will be, who should ask for your help, or what kind of people that you can help. Is it anyone, or I mean, so how can they start to ask for your help? I just want to know more about, I mean, the categories of people, yeah, you help. Is it everyone? Yeah.
I've helped anybody. This, like
Okay.
my story, probably share that the fact that this person was from logistic. So if we look at it this way, this was a South African living in South Africa, different industry, logistics,
Yeah.
different race. Not that it matters, but different race. Every single thing was different. So from a superficial level, you would think, how come is Brian going to help this guy? What do they have in common? Well, the way
Mm,
that I see it,
yeah.
he has the same number of bones that I do, and we have the same blood color. And as long as we want to help each other, or I want to help him in this case, then probably I'm going to make him better off than he was before, which I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
uh,
so I've put together a program, which, by the way, I shared with James Fogg, and he's been helping a lot of people because he wanted to help from his heart as well. He wanted to put his soul into what he does, because he shared this story with me. He was driven by something else, by the success, the
yeah.
numbers, the money. He wanted to actually help from his heart, and I love this guy, James Fogg. Just amazing.
Yeah, great, great. Yeah, actually, James Fox is actually calling, so maybe I just add him. Hi, James.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you. Good to see you.
How are you, James?
Are you a magician? How do you do that?
No, Keith
Hi.
invited me. I asked Keith about to come and say hi to you because
You're
I
a
know you
helper.
guys have been like, huh?
You're a helper.
Because you talk about James, right? In Chinese, we never talk the name, right? Otherwise, people will come.
Oh, yes, great, great. Yeah, great, good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
just,
for
I just,
joining.
So James, well, actually,
yep, yep,
yeah. So James, actually, we are talking about how non-recruiters can help thousands of job seekers. Because for
yep,
me, I'm you and I are recruiter, right?
yep,
We should help people, but how
yep.
when a non-recruiters helping job seekers, what do you think? I mean, is it they can do that, or what in your opinion? What do you think?
You mean a non-recruiter can help job seeker? You see, Brian is a good example. He's not from a recruitment field, and then he inspired like 1,000 million people already. So I don't think if you want to help someone, I don't think you need the skill. Just what you need is just a right mindset, right? Just a right heart, and then a right attitude.
Yeah,
Because we don't need to be an Iron Man, Superman to help anyone. We just be a normal person. As long as you have the right heart, you have the right just the right heart is fine, because if you talk to people with heart to heart, people can feel it. Yeah, if you just
Mhm.
go for something else, people can feel it too. So just do it if you really want to do it. If today, I'm not sure like anyone are viewing our video, our live, if you really want to step in to help others, just don't think, just do it. Yeah, if you think too much, you will not take any action.
Mhm.
Yeah, just
yeah,
just a
I
step forward. Yeah, yep,
I love the words that you just said, and you've said them to me before, and I believe every single word that you said to me before, and why you wanted to do this, and that's why I supported you and I gave you all my knowledge,
yep,
James, so that you could expand and you could help as many people as possible, because I fully agree that it has to come from a place in your heart.
yep,
People can feel your vibe, whether you have an ulterior motive, another reason
mm,
why you're doing things, or truly because you care for their well-being and you're
mm,
supporting them, you're empowering them, you want to see them do well. So I always say that I don't wish people to do well as long as they do worse than me. I wish them to do
mm,
well so that they do better than me, because I
yep,
want them to
yep,
actually lift me up when they are at a much better place than me. So, and I know that you come from a place like that, and I know that Keith has a really good heart as well. So I commend you for what you do. I know that
Yeah.
you guys are
You
different.
you should ask. You should tell me your experience, and then I can help other people as well. You can teach me more, right?
Yeah. So I know
Hey,
that
but
you
hey,
guys
by the
are
way,
different.
do
I know that you
yeah.
guys are different. That based on the questions that I've received from you, in how I've handled my conversations and my services that I've provided to job seekers. I know that because of the type of questions, the quality of the questions that you've asked me in the past, how to handle the communications when you have too many questions coming in at a given time. How do you handle that? The fact that you actually care to answer all those questions means that you're not the typical recruiter who just ghosts everybody. It means that you actually want to provide the best service, even if you cannot or you see yourselves overwhelmed. The fact that you actually stop to care, to worry about those things, means that you actually care for everybody. And you've mentioned, Keith, in the past that you care to answer people from all countries, not necessarily
Yeah.
the ones who can afford you. So I love you guys. I think that you guys are amazing. Great quality.
Yeah, thank you. So, do you have count how many people you actually help? I mean, how many people that join your programs, or so? Just share some numbers. I mean, thousands for me is just a wild guess number, but I want to know exactly how many people you help.
Interestingly, so for the interview sniper, when I mentor them on an interview sniper session, that is a 3.5 to 4 hour session, and that's lengthy, right? And I've done one-on-ones for the most part. 99% of them are one-on-ones. I've also done couples. So sometimes a couple wants to come in because they're both interviewing. They immigrate at the same time and they want to sit in the session together, which is a great practice because they know each other and they can tell each other what they think, and they have one more perspective at the table with me. I've done hundreds of these sessions, and I don't know if you have been following me, but I've sacrificed a lot of personal events to help other people. For example, a few months ago, there was someone who was interviewing on a Monday. This was on the Sunday. She reached out to me, and it was my wedding anniversary. And when I told my wife that I wanted to help her, this candidate, uh, my wife supported me. She said, "Okay, no problem." So we go out of our way to try to help as many people as we can. Of course, our time is limited, and that's why many times I organize webinars. Now, the one thing that I did recently, and you probably are both aware of this, is my post that blew up, that got 4.6 million, almost 4.7 million views. I was sitting next to my grandma in Argentina as she was getting her first chemo session, her chemotherapy session. And I thought to myself, there are so many people out there who cannot even land an interview. And I'm here
Mm,
traveling countries, feeding my family with no concerns whatsoever, taking time off from work to be with my grandma, and I'm totally fine. And I thought to myself, there are parents out there who, whether they're single or married, they need to feed their children. They cannot get an interview. And I thought to myself, even though that resume template that I had been charging for thousands of dollars for that resume template, I thought to myself, I can continue doing that, but it seems incompatible with what I stand for, which is to empower people and to get them back on their feet. So I just, out of my heart, I just shared it. I didn't think anything would
yeah.
come out of it. Sure, few people would benefit from it, but I never expected that it would be downloaded over 70,000 times in a week. So
Wow.
and people are messaging me constantly now saying, I was applying for career opportunities for months and I would get no interviews. And I applied with your resume, and the next day I got an interview. So for anybody who's interested in this, I will drop the link. You can go there, you punch in your email address, and you'll receive, within 10 minutes, you'll receive the template. For free, by the way, sorry.
For free. Yeah. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
when the time
Yeah.
you post the ATS the template out. Yeah, this is a very big impact to the people, because those people they get the template, and then they get past the ATS system, and then they got the interviews. It's amazing. And also remember about the post too. I saw the post too. Yeah, so I remember everything you put on the LinkedIn. I follow you closely, Brian, so I know everything you put there. Yeah.
I
And
love
also
this.
one, yeah. Huh?
Isn't it amazing, this platform? We almost lost Keith just a week ago. I felt so bad. I was like, I started to mentor Keith, to help him, to give him advice, what to do, what not to do. And all of a sudden, his account gets taken down. Who knows what happened? I was like, what happened with
Yeah.
his account? He was freaking out.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
He
this
told
ever
me.
so Keith told me, Keith reached out to me on WhatsApp. He's like,
Yeah.
Brian, has this ever happened to you? I was like, no, that's actually my worst nightmare. That after spending 2 years building up my account, that one day will go away, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It can happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Keith told me as well. Yeah, his
Luckily, I
account
get
got
back the account and then have live with you guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Hey, James, do you have any
Mm.
questions to ask Brian about today's topic?
Ask Brian. I ask him all the time, man. Okay, so one thing I really want to say about Brian is uh like yeah, he's really inspired me a lot, to be honest, buddy. And I want to say one more thing is like you true to your word, like you mentioned you want people better than you. That's the truth. For those people who are watching us now, Brian is really want you to be better because he always want me to be better than him. This is one thing I really not easy to find in the world, because this is a true leader. People say a true leader is like they don't create follower, they create leader. But Brian create more leader better than himself. This is not easy. In my life, I only encountered two people like this. One is in my early age, the leader. He was like that. You are the second one, Brian. So in this world, it's really hard to find this kind of people. Only two people out of like million or like million people I know. Yeah,
I appreciate it. And
yeah.
it means the world to me what you're saying. It really does. And lately, what I've been working on, I don't know, for anybody who has been following, I realize, again, going back to the resume template, I realize that there are a lot of people out there who are struggling with all these coronavirus. Now things are becoming even more difficult for many
Yep.
people. For many organizations, they do not even want to hire.
Yep.
So whoever was struggling before, they are going to continue to struggle, or it's going to become more difficult. So one of the things that I'm doing now, I mean, we're blessed here in Canada. We are blessed. We can't complain about anything. We haven't perceived any, other than the psychological impact of knowing that this is happening worldwide. The market hasn't changed in terms of work here. So one of the things that I'm working on right now, every single night, I woke up last night actually at 3 in the morning, because I can't
Yes, I
sleep
know.
because I'm thinking so much about this and doing. So I am working on a platform, on an initiative, a movement, to be able to help people who are struggling, who need funds to be able to provide to their families, so that they can spend some of their free time doing something to contribute to somebody else's success, where they actually affect their bottom line, where they actually generate money. So anybody who's interested in learning more about this, you can reach out to me. You can send me a DM if you want. As of 2 weeks ago, I purchased LinkedIn Premium and Sales Navigator, because I learned that if you have LinkedIn Premium, you can turn on a feature which is unique to LinkedIn Premium, called Open Profile. So if you have Open Profile, anybody can reach out to you. Whereas, so right now I have 30,000 connections, so I maxed out. I cannot accept anybody new. For the longest time, I was asking people to send me personalized invite. Why was I saying that? Because when someone sends me a personalized invite, I can reply to them. Even though I cannot accept them, I can reply to them. Now that I have LinkedIn Premium and Sales Navigator, they can, without sending me an invite, they can send me a direct message. So anybody can do it. So there is a setting that is unique to LinkedIn Premium. So I spent a fortune on this thing. It's so expensive to put LinkedIn Premium, but I thought that whoever is running into trouble, whoever is really desperate, they can reach out to me directly, and I can reply without them going through hoops. Because sometimes, Jonayat receives a lot of messages saying, I'm trying to reach out to Brian. Dave Rosendahl, he gets messages saying, can you please tell Brian? So I thought, you know what, I'm going to pay for this so that people can actually reach out to me directly.
Okay, you know what? Somebody call me Brian nowadays. They say, Brian, I send you a message. Brian, I send you a CV. What? I'm not Brian, I'm James. We're two different.
Yeah. Sometimes I receive the same message like, hey, James told me like that, but it's actually
Oh,
sent to
really?
me.
Okay.
It makes up, everything.
They mix up the people.
Too funny.
That's funny. That's funny. That's
So,
funny.
so how are you guys? Let me ask you personally. How are you? How is the situation? Are you guys feeling okay? Your families, your friends. How are you doing? How are you handling the whole situation? This nightmare that the whole world is living right now.
Yeah, I think for actually it's quite good for those people who haven't stepped into the online business. Right now, many people are asking me about the LinkedIn things because they are stuck at home for so long, and they ask me about all these things. So right now, it's a very good thing if you haven't start your online platform, even you go online to active in LinkedIn. So it's quite good now. So for myself, I'm quite busy nowadays because for the LinkedIn, I'm quite happening. So this for my family is good. For my kids that stay at home, they're no school, so I spend a lot of time with them. And because of the LinkedIn, yeah, I spend most of my day in at home, and then spend time with them, and then I got my work to do. So to me, it's a busy day. Yeah, still very busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about
To
Keith?
me, it's pretty much the same because my wife is a teacher. So basically, she'll lock her in the bedroom and then recording all the e-learnings. And for me, it's like I'm doing the LinkedIn things, and my kids is also basically at home, and so everyone is home. We don't have enough face masks, so that's why we stay at home. But it's okay. Everything is okay.
What advice do you have for people who haven't started engaging or sharing their value? What is it? How quickly do you think anybody who has value or experience or skills, how quickly do you think that they can start to monetize LinkedIn if they are interested or impacting other people?
Yeah.
Wow, I think they can start today. Yeah,
Yeah,
start now.
just shoot the videos, and then post it on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
and then
just took
people will
just took the
go.
phone and then do it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Just to the phone, do it immediately. Yeah, because there's nothing stop them. LinkedIn is not like yeah, because LinkedIn, you know the way they do it is like so crazy. You just one post, someone like it, and then you go wow already. So
Yeah,
nothing will stop anyone. Just yourself stopping yourself. Yeah.
yeah. I got a post like more than 500,000 views. Yeah, and like around 900 reshares. So it's quite, you can go viral anytime. Yeah.
Right, right. For anybody who's hesitant about this, again, just know that we all started from the same spot where
Mm.
we doubted ourselves. We had no idea whether we had anything of value to add, whether people were going to laugh at our comments, whether people
Yep.
were going to laugh at our accents, at our faces, at everything. Right? It's scary to put yourself out there because you don't know who's going to attack you from which place. It's very easy right now for someone to bully you behind the screen. They can just do that, and there's nothing to stop them unless you block them, of course. So just know that we all started from the same place. It's difficult in the beginning, but if you build enough relationships, you will have people who will support you. And not only that, if anyone comes to attack you will have people who will vouch for you, who will defend you.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
will not even have to defend yourself.
Yep.
You
Yep.
will have your community to protect you. And the LinkedIn community is quite healthy, to be
Yep.
honest. In the mindset, they will not allow anyone to just come and attack you.
Mm.
So those people that I see that come and bully you typically walk away like a dog, with the tail in between the legs. They're like, oh, they have nothing else to say, right? They came, they barked a little bit, and then they just go away because they have nothing else to say.
yeah, I understand. So I do want to have other questions to ask Brian. So I mean, you also introduce yourself like, you are doing IT, you're a good photographer, or you know some other things. So why do you start to only doing resume and interviews, but not other services? And what kind of services that you can actually offer to help people?
So I'm doing a lot of things. I have a lot of services. The
Yeah,
ones
not
that
a
are
business
free.
maybe behind the scenes in Canada.
No, he's still full time working. He's still not full time in LinkedIn. So this is amazing things. Yeah.
So I realized that it is more fulfilling to help people get back on their feet. So although I have dozens of services that I can offer, right? I I have a very technical background. I have a lot of interests, a lot of hobbies. I find that empowering people to get back on their feet is the most fulfilling thing that I can do, that I can spend my time on. That's why I've spent so much time on resumes and mentoring people to crack those
Mm,
interviews. Because when someone, so if you're employed, you're fine. But if you're unemployed,
mm,
and as time goes by and you have that bigger gap and you keep on
mm,
failing and you keep on hitting your head against the wall, your confidence level goes down and it becomes a spiral going downwards, and
mm,
it becomes so much harder to get out of it, right? So that's when I step in. When someone tells me, you know what, sometimes they reach out to me, they learn that I'm expensive, and then
mm,
they go away and then they try for months and then they cannot do it, and they're like,
mm,
Finally, I give up. Brian, mentor me. I mentor them. In one interview, they get the opportunity. There was one person. This was the story of one person that helped me start to take off, to get a lot of traction. I share the story of a graphic designer who was getting paid $90,000 a year here in Canada, and
mm.
I mentored her for 1 week, and she went from 90,000 to $160,000. And this is the one
Wow.
thing that a lot of recruiters, I don't know why, but the recruiters really typically protect the organization, right? They are told this is the range in which we want you to hire someone. But they try
Mm,
to push down, most recruiters at least, they push down the pricing so that the employee, the new candidate, gets as little as possible. Because
mm,
I'm not a recruiter, I do it completely differently. It's
mm,
unorthodox. I tell them exactly how much they can get, and I give them techniques on how to negotiate so that they make the most. No one
mm,
in the right mind would give someone a $70,000 increase when her previous compensation was 90,000. No one, no
mm,
employer will. But here I came and I told her exactly how to do it, how to negotiate, and she went like that. So that was my first viral post. I had 5,000 followers at the time. That was in August of last year. And that post went to 260,000 views. And in 1 week, I got 8,000 followers more. So I went from 5,000 to 13,000 in 1 week. And since
wow.
then, what I realized, for anybody there wondering why those posts work well, why does mine only get 2 likes? When you
Mm,
share about other people and other people's success, and you share a story that others feel compelled about or inspired, or
mm.
they see the goodness in you, that's when things work. I mean,
Yep.
I see a lot of people who make up stories. I beg you, do not make up stories. Be proud of who you are. If you don't have a story, then don't tell a story, but don't go
Mm,
making up stories, right? Yeah,
yep. Cool. So Brian, I
Yeah.
need to go first. So you guys still enjoy time.
that's
Okay.
it. That's
Okay.
it.
See you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye
you. Thank
bye.
you, James. Bye
Nice to see you.
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye
Thanks for
bye.
stopping by.
Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, it's nice to have a James, right? Suddenly coins, and is very very amazing.
Yeah, amazing
Yeah,
guy.
but just want to understand, because you also mentioned about the expensive. So I know that the ATS resume is free, so everyone can download. You have a lot of people, but I mean for those who actually pays for you, I mean, is it you if your price is so expensive, then you can't help more people, right? So what's the logic behind?
So it's quite draining to provide this service because it's 3.5 4 hours. But the main reason why this service is so expensive is because I don't charge per hour. I charge
Oh, okay.
for the commitment to bring that person to their objective. So for me, I don't care if I have to mentor them once, twice, 10 times, or 100 times. Of course, the less I mentor someone and the faster I get them to their objective, the better for them and the better for me, right? It becomes more efficient for both of us. But my commitment is to keep on mentoring that person as many times as that person wants or needs, until they get that offer. 98% of the people that I mentor, of the candidates, they get the offer within their first interview. And one of the things that I help them realize, many people tell me, I go through round one, round two, round three, and then they drop me, they ghost me, they don't offer me. So what I tell people is this: the more rounds you go through, the worse it is for you, because they start to look at you under the microscope. So when you're going
Yeah.
through round one, if you can manage to get the offer right there and then, great, get it. But most people go with a mindset of, I'm just going to be very proper. I'm going to just answer like everybody else. Guess what? If you're like everybody else, they're going to compare you to everybody else. So what I tell people, and this is the exact gesture that I make during the session, is everybody else is here, right? They're in this group. Let's say that 10 people are interviewing. You have 9 people over here. You need to be here by yourself. When you're by yourself, they cannot compare you to anybody else. Because if they do compare you to everybody else, they will compare your certificates, your diplomas, your degrees, your hairstyle, your height, your weight, your face, your race, everything they will compare. So make sure that you're in a group of your own, right? These are the other people. You need to be over here by yourself, so that when they look at you, they're like, I've never met another Keith in my life. If I
Yeah.
don't make an offer to Keith, someone else is going to, and I cannot afford to lose him because everybody else is the same. And I see that everybody else is the same, but there's no other one like Keith. So that's when they make you the offer right there and then. Not necessarily at the table, but they will. That's what happens to me all the time. They confirm to me at the table that the offer is coming, and typically within an hour, I have the offer in my inbox.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and I agree with you because as a HR, so if you go into different rounds, not only you slow down your whole process, but there's lots more I would say influencers or decision makers is trying to say, hey, this is good, this bad, and then when they leave a very detailed comments and feedbacks to you, then that's not a good thing. That definitely not a good
Mhm.
thing. Yeah. So, but Brian, I just want to know because you mentioned about immigration, you mentioned about all other services. So what when do you start to think about okay you're good in resume and interviews but when you think that it's good time to launch other service, people could have other interests, other things, so how does it work to launch other service?
In my mind, you mean?
Yeah.
I I am very observant. I see what people are interested in. The fact that I am in Canada and I receive a lot of questions, I pay attention a lot at what people are
Okay.
asking me and what people are talking about and where I am. I am blessed to live in Canada. Canada has been ranked just recently number 2 country in the world after Switzerland. It's the number 1 country in quality of living, quality of life. So I imagine that there are a lot of people interested in coming to Canada. Now, the main challenge that I see with this is that there are a lot of people who are scamming a lot of these people who have hopes and dreams. My family, when we were in Argentina in 2001, and we were applying to come to Canada, my parents came to Canada, they met a lawyer, and we paid 9,500 American dollars to come to Canada. That's
Wow.
a lot of money that a lot of people cannot afford to pay legal services. Then I started to ask a lot of questions. What's happening? How much should it really be? Are people scamming? Are people just taking people's money and disappearing? Yes, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Typically, a lot of people in other countries, let's say in Africa or in India, they set up an office, they take a lot of people's money, and then they just disappear and move to another city, right?
Yeah.
So my advice to anybody who's interested in coming to Canada is team up with someone. It doesn't have to be necessarily me, but if you've been following me for a while, you see what I stand for. You know that I have integrity. Team up with someone who has a foot in the country. Don't just go to anybody. I know that it's hard to trust someone and make a transaction across the world, but the beauty about Canada, different from other countries, is that we as a society, we behave with integrity. So whoever is actually residing in Canada is trying to behave and follow how everybody does things. So my advice is if you're interested in coming to Canada, be careful, ask questions, ask references. Don't just give your sensitive information, private information, personal details to just anybody. There are people who are sending their passports across the ocean. Now you don't know who's using your passport, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear horror stories all the time. I hear people who have opened their bank accounts to agencies for agencies to go and check how much money you have. They don't go and just check how much money you have. They go and take all your money. That's what they do. That's what I've learned from people who reach out to me saying, I've lost it all thanks to these agencies, right? So I try to help a lot of people. And because a lot of people came to me with all these horror stories, I started to learn more. And now I'm helping people so that I can help them achieve their Canadian dream or their life dream to come to Canada.
Okay, I understand. So how's your personal life? I mean, if you mentioned about Canada, it's a very good country. So and also you manage a lot of service. So how do you manage your personal life and work and the balance of anything? Yeah.
That's a great question. I Listen, I think that I'm making a big sacrifice. I am aware that I am spending a lot of time on LinkedIn and coming up with ideas and executing them and, let, letting them take off. I have young kids, and as much as I appreciate my time with them and I dedicate my time with them, I think that building the right foundation for my family is very important. I am blessed to be in a position right now where in the last 2 years I've done really well professionally and financially. And I believe that when you're doing well, you should keep on maximizing that because you never know when that's going to stop, right? From 1 week to the next, you can lose your LinkedIn account, right? Take that to life. From 1 week to the next, you can get sick, right? God forbid. But that can happen. So when you're doing well, keep on maximizing that because you never know when that's going to stop. So I'm building a foundation, but now I'm building a foundation so that I can build a large team of people. I share all my knowledge. One of the things that is true about me is that I share all my knowledge with other people. You're a witness of that, Keith.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could be
yeah.
saving, I could be saving all this knowledge to myself, but I learned a lot of things through my experience. I've acquired new skills, and every single time I learn something new, I share it with others. And I think that that's how you empower, how you make an impact, how you build leaders. And at the same time, of course, it's helping me too. Because when you give, it comes back tenfold to you. So I believe in giving. So if you have anything that can help other people, become an authority, become a leader, share your knowledge, empower other people, inspire them, and you will see how that comes back tenfold. Don't just hog your knowledge thinking that you're going to lose potentially your job or your position, because if you give that information then someone else is going to take over. Free yourself from all that knowledge so that they can give you better opportunities. If your manager sees that they don't have anybody else to give your role and responsibilities to, you will be stuck there forever. So empower everybody around you. You will be seen and perceived as a leader, and then better opportunities will come your way. And the same thing on LinkedIn, the same thing in life in general. Does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, I agree, I agree. Because people are so skeptical. Like, for example, I don't even put a like, I don't even put any comments. And for example, if I post anything, I will say, hey, is my boss checking or is it, someone will challenge me, I will receive bad feedback. So they are very afraid of doing something. But they forget how they should share the knowledge to empower people, to help people. That's more important. Yeah, and I really would learn from you, and that's very good advice for everyone.
Thank you. The one thing that I can advise everybody based on my personality, my values, what I stand for, is be yourselves. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to just fit in. Be yourself. Have your own personality, your own quirks, your own humor, your own whatever it is, and stand behind what you believe in. If I right now I am paranoid about, again, I don't want to talk about this too much, but about all these coronavirus, if I believe that this is posing a risk to people, I will talk about it, which I have been, even if that means that I will lose followers. I don't care. If I believe that this is my message
Mm,
is going to protect people, families, children, elderly, because we will stop spreading this, I will say it, which I have been for the last week since. I mean, it took me a while to actually realize how serious this was. But once I realized it, which by the way, I canceled my own trip with my family to Miami. So I'm not just talking, I'm actually walking the talk. So I spent money to cancel my trip. So since I believe in this, I talk about it and I will stand behind it because that's what I believe in, right or wrong. That's what I believe in. So whatever it is that you believe in, just say it. And don't be afraid to change your mind either. A lot of people just don't want to change their mind because it's ego or the embarrassment or whatever. I could be wrong, and I will be the first one to admit a week from now that, oh, you know what? Maybe it was nothing. I will make another post to say that it was nothing, right? And actually, that probably will get me even more followers because they will be like, Brian is one of the only ones who admits that he was actually wrong, which is not what everybody does. Everybody else will hide, pretend that they never said anything. I will actually tell you when I was wrong, right? So,
yeah. You can't challenge anyone's story. You can't challenge anyone's views and opinions. Yeah. So any other things you would like to add or give advice to job seekers, because you jump your followers like 5,000 to right now like 130, well, 130,000. So yeah, any advice you can give to job seekers and anything you will advise them.
So for job seekers, my advice would be, first of all, you're sitting on the right platform right now. You are on LinkedIn, you are in the right platform. Learn how to use this platform. All the information that you need for anything that you want to do is readily available anywhere. All you have to do is search for it. We all have, I'm not sure about the situation with Google and China right now, Keith, if it is allowed or banned, but you have a search engine somewhere, right? So all this information is available. You can search for anything. 2 years ago, I didn't know how to write a resume. I Googled that. I found out how to write a resume. I've mastered how to write a resume. My resume has been picked up by United Nations, Microsoft, and even LinkedIn itself. So when I prepare candidates, they even got interviewed by LinkedIn in Ireland. Okay. So anything that you don't know, if you are curious enough, you can find the information and you can perfect it. The first thing is be curious. Second, learn about LinkedIn, how to use it, and really try to improve your social skills as well. For everybody, what's your social skills? Whenever you start a relationship with someone, of course it's easy to copy and paste and just send the same message to 100 people, but that doesn't do anything for you. If you've done the same thing over and over and over and it hasn't yielded any positive results, then
You should change.
what
Yeah.
are you doing? Just change it. Just
Yeah.
be curious. Just ask other people what worked for you in this situation or that situation. Post. Don't be afraid about that. And build relationships with people. And the third one is leverage the tools within LinkedIn. You have LinkedIn jobs where all these jobs or career opportunities are posted. Apply through that. Stop customizing your resume for every single organization. Find the one role that you're interested in, tailor your resume for that particular role, and apply everywhere for that role. Apply until there's no more opportunities. And then find another role and customize your resume for that new role. And now you will have two. But watch out for everything, your grammar, your spelling, the organization of your resume, even the file, the file name.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
Put like version 8. Like the hiring manager, do I care about these things? These things distract
No,
me from
no.
what I actually need to focus on. Don't put the date on the file name. Don't put the version there. Don't put what organization. If you're applying to my organization, you don't put the name on the resume, right? The name of
Yeah.
your organization. Just think about all these things and ask questions. If you want, I'll do it once again. I will drop here the link. You can go and you can download my.
Yeah,
I just dropped the link on
yeah.
the chat so that people can go and download the resume template for free.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, your advice is actually better than recruiters. I mean, yeah, when we receive, like, for example, the resume file names, there's a lot of funny names. Even your salary is on the file name. Everything could happen. Yeah.
The question that I have for you, Keith, is why do you think that I know I understand that I am observant, I am curious, and so on. Those are my traits, my qualities. Why do you think that all recruiters do the exact same cookie cutter way, and very few like you and James truly stand out in your approach? Why do you think that everybody, is it maybe it's a reflection of how every single industry is? Everybody does the exact same thing and nobody stands out, right?
Well, I think for HR, they are quite traditional. They just receive your resume and then process it to send it to hiring managers. They just do their job to fill the roles. And for recruitment agencies, of course, their mindset is they are helping companies to find suitable talents. They don't they will I think they will help in terms of doing a little bit career coaching, helping you for the resumes, but they don't have time, right? Their primary focus will be on their clients. So for us, it's because we want to help people. Okay, we think about, okay, because I have experience in in-house HR and also recruitment agencies. I know the gaps. I know people are not really taking care of those candidates. So that's why I want to help people to reframing their resumes, help them
Mhm.
to crack the interviews, because I know what happens, what can do well, and with my experience of all my case that I know, and then I can share with you, and then you can do better. That's why I think James and me or other coaches or advisors in the world, they can do that. So that's why I think we exist to help people.
What do you enjoy the most from the entire process of helping someone? What do you like?
Well, I think I really happy if someone's WhatsApp me or LinkedIn to send message. Hey, I learned I can have interviews tomorrow because my resumes get through the doors, and then I can get the offers. I can excel in my interviews. I can answer yeah. Sorry for the internet is not stable. But
Yeah.
yeah. Hey Brian, do you have any more new initiatives or planning for your service or anything you may just wrap up or just, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the last one is this one that I'm working on. As you mentioned before, I've built my brand. I don't necessarily like to use the word brand to associate it with a person, but I've built my brand, my reputation, trust from people. So now I'm leveraging that to empower. I mean, you sat through that webinar in which I shared with very few people what I'm working on, people that I trust, like you, what I'm working on to empower other professionals, to give them the tools to be able to get them off the ground with the hope that we all together we can go and help the people who need this the most. So right now I'm focusing on, and this will be my main focus right now, to help people who are doing okay, who are, they live well, but they want to be able to live more comfortably. I want to be able to help them so that they can achieve my success or greater than my success, but at the same time, with the focus on making sure that we all together provide opportunities to people who need this the most. I believe that we have the responsibility, social responsibility, to be able to help people across the world, in developing countries, in first world countries, whoever is going through hardship should be able to leverage us and be able to make a living, get back on their feet, and gain their confidence again, and feed their families and themselves. So that's what I'm working on right now. It will probably be launched in the next few weeks. There are a lot of people asking me, "Can we launch? Can we launch? Can we launch?" So I'm putting it all together, waiting for a few people to make their decisions whether they want to be a part of it. Um, but I don't allow any obstacles to come in my way. When I set my mind to something, I just go and execute. And I've proven time and again, I think that this is going to be my 5th website in just a few months. The first one that I launched made $20,000 in 1 week, and it cost me only $12 to build, and it took me 12 hours to build. Now my websites are taking me 4 hours to build and cost me still nothing. So, but I'm still being able to make money and to help other people. So every single time that I launch a website, it's a partnership with someone new. And that's why I posted earlier today that I only do partnerships. I don't hire people. I do partnerships with people because I don't want to set a ceiling for people. I don't want people to know that, oh, this is the maximum that I can aspire to. No, if you work really hard, the sky is the limit, right? So that's how I like to work with people. I want to empower them and show them that there's no limit. If you want to work more because you are more ambitious, work more. You will see the return. That's what I'm working on to truly make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, we look forward to partner with you and look forward for the websites to launch, and then we can, learn more from you, and then you can share more with the people. So that's really great, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for your contribution to LinkedIn, because I know everyone is talking about you, and thank you so much for being the guest for the LinkedIn Live as well.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everybody who's still watching. Thank you so much for.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll end the live right now. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you.